The basic formula for success is to identify what you want, know that you deserve to have it. Believe you can get what you want, work to get it, and take responsibility for your life. Accept that your life circumstances are within your control and operate with this formula. Event plus response is equal outcome. An event is something that happens in your life. Your response is how you choose to respond to the event. The outcome is the result of how you choose to respond. If you are frequently dealing with the same event but don't like the outcome, adjust your response until you get the outcome you would like. For example, if you hate your job, you may blame your supervisor, but you accepted that job and chose to stay in it, even if it's keeping you from doing work you were more passionate about. And instead of blaming your supervisor, get what you need to make the job worthwhile or make a change. For example, ask that you not be expected to work on weekends, or ask for a raise that's long overdue. Identify your life's purpose and what you want. When you know your life's purpose, you can tailor your actions to support that purpose. In contrast, if you don't feel a sense of purpose, it's easy to go aimlessly through life without feeling as though you're achieving anything worthwhile or meaningful. Believe in yourself and your dreams. Science has shown that what happens in our lives tends to follow what we think will happen or what we've been conditioned to think will happen. So to achieve what you want in life, believe it will happen, believe you can do it, and don't be deterred by conventional wisdom that say otherwise. Set goals. Goal setting helps you develop new skills, grow as a person, and do things that scare you but are good for you. Write goals with plenty of detail, interact with them daily, break them into steps, and work on those steps every day. Expand your comfort zones. As we grow up, we often let limiting thoughts about ourselves and our abilities guide how we live our lives. Writing affirmations is a great tool to envision your ideal reality and motivate yourself to leave your comfort zone to achieve it. Act with intention. Achieving success requires taking action. Learn to forge ahead, even in the face of challenges and fear. Face your fears and do the work. Though everyone has fears, successful people learn to feel their fears and do the work anyway. They also recognize that reaching their goals isn't just going to happen. They have to be willing to do what's necessary, which often requires sacrifice. Train yourself to set your fear aside by reframing it, focusing on positive feelings. To do the work, evaluate your plan of action. Assess whether your steps are sufficient and be willing to practice and fail until you can do the work well. Act like you've made it. Acting as though you've already achieved your dream activates the law of attraction. You start attracting and recognizing the people and opportunities that could help you reach your goals. To start acting like you've made it, think about how your life would be different, including what you feel, think, talk about, and wear. Push yourself to act. Even when you have a plan of action, you may make excuses that prevent you from following it, such as waiting for the right time to start. Identify your main excuse for waiting and address it so you can get to work. Use feedback to your advantage. To be successful, communicate your needs and wants to others and ask others for feedback on your performance to continuously improve yourself. Feedback is a useful tool to achieve your goals because it can help you tell when you're getting off track and need to correct your course. Though you may be afraid of what you will hear, the benefit outweighs the downsides. People are often afraid to give feedback because they don't want you to react in a negative way. To benefit from feedback, learn to ask for it and accept it graciously. Ask for what you need and want. Learning how to ask for what you need and want, even when you're afraid of the answer, can help you reach your goals. To ask for what you want, use clear language. Assume what you're asking for is possible, and if you are rejected, try again another time. Sometimes all it takes to get what you want is asking for it, but it's easy to hold yourself back. Maybe you're afraid of rejection, so you decide it's better not to ask than to face a no. Learning how to ask for what you need and want, even when you're afraid of the answer, can help you reach your goals. If you ask for something vague, you may get a vague answer with something that isn't what you want. Always strive to improve. Working to improve yourself and become successful means that you don't stop once you've achieved one goal. You're constantly improving yourself or your work. The world is changing rapidly. Working to improve and grow is a necessity for successful people. But if you let the fast pace of the world dictate the pace at which you improve yourself, you may feel like you're barely keeping up. Creating changes in yourself takes time. Working systematically on small changes can help improve yourself and your work. Even a slight improvement makes a difference. If you spend a lot of time with people who stress you out, aren't successful, or aren't supportive, you are less likely to achieve success. So who you spend time with matters. Aim to spend time with people who uplift you, support and nurture your dreams, have a positive attitude, and are successful. Identify the negative people in your life. To start surrounding yourself with supportive people, identify those who are negative and holding you back. Always appreciate your successes. It's common to focus more on our failures than our successes. We tend to take even small successes for granted, but over time, this can diminish your self-esteem and work against your continued achievement. Improve your bedtime routine. How you reflect on your day has an impact on what you learn and how you approach the next day. The last 45 minutes before you go to sleep is an important time to reflect and plan for the next day. This is because your brain processes what you think about during this time up to 6 times more than everything else you did during the day. It's also why studying before you go to sleep can be an effective test-taking strategy, and why you might not sleep. Finish your projects and declutter your life. Finishing projects and decluttering your life can give you a sense of accomplishment and the confidence to move forward with your goal. Resolve past hurts. When you experience something painful but don't process it, it diminishes your ability to take on similar or new challenges. Negative emotions are poisonous. Negative emotions like anger or resentment rob you of energy that you could use toward more positive outcomes, like achieving your goals. For example, if you're trying to work on a project but cannot stop thinking about that mean comment your friend made about you, you won't move as quickly or accomplish as much. From a law of attraction perspective, whatever emotion you're releasing into the universe is what you attract. If you harbor anger and resentment, you'll attract more of it into your life. Forgiveness is the key to breaking the cycle. It helps you express your emotions and move on. For example, forgiving a business partner who stole money from you allows you to acknowledge your resentment and put the past behind you so you can focus on the present. This doesn't mean what this person did is acceptable or that you should trust them again, just that you acknowledge what they did and move on. Welcome change. Learning to embrace change is an important part of reading yourself for success. Change is inevitable. It's common to become accustomed to the way things are and not want to change, but the world is constantly changing, from new technologies to the economy. Learning to welcome change make it easier to adjust to it and benefit from it. There are two types of change. Cyclical changes, like economic or seasonal changes, are temporary and last a short time. Structural changes are fundamental changes to society, such as the invention of the internet. Because of these changes, we don't do business or communicate the way we used to, and we won't ever go back. We'll just move on to something else. Practice positive self talk. Research has shown that when we talk to ourselves, it's mostly about ourselves and it's mostly negative. Negative self talk colors our view of what's possible and makes us unmotivated to act. Plus, our body reacts physically to the negative things we say about ourselves. Learning to speak positively to yourself can help you in many facets of your life. Your thoughts physically affect you. If you were hooked up to a lie detecting machine and someone asked you whether you stole money, physical changes might start to happen in your body, regardless of whether you lied or not. For example, your heart rate might increase and you might start sweating. Negative and positive thoughts do different things to the body. Negative thoughts can make you feel powerless, unmotivated, and weak. Positive thoughts can make you feel more in balance and relaxed. They can also release endorphins in the brain, which are associated with pleasure. Successful people make a continuous effort to become successful. This requires letting go of destructive behaviors and developing new success habits. Habits automate some of your life. Over time, you've learned to live your life a specific way, from safe driving to how you eat breakfast. Bad habits can also be undesirable behaviors like drinking too much soda or being late. Eventually, you may suffer the consequences of your bad habit. For example, the consequence of drinking too much soda might be developing diabetes. The solution: rid yourself of bad habits by replacing them with good ones. Develop productive habits instead. Learn throughout your life. Just like developing new habits, learning throughout your life is a key to being successful and adapting to changing times. Watch less TV, read more. The average person in the US watches 6 hours of TV a day. Eliminating 1 hour of TV a week would help you make time for other pursuits, such as learning a language, spending more time with family, or reading. Reading is one of the most beneficial activities because it allows you to learn from people who have already achieved great things. If you're hoping to become an expert in your field, reading for an hour each day on related topics can greatly accelerate the pace of your learning. If you read a book a week, you'll have read over 1,000 books in 20 years. Grow your professional skills and network. Passion and enthusiasms can drive you to do your best work and achieve success. These qualities come from within when you do activities you feel passionate about. You also probably have skills and abilities that are so effortless for you that you do them willingly, possibly without charging people. But successful people turn their passion and their core genius, what they do best, into their business. Identify your passion. Ask yourself this question to see if you're following your passion. Do I love my work? If I don't love my work, what would I rather be doing? Would it be lucrative? Successful people find a way to make it work, which means living with less money or turning their passion into a lucrative business. What would I do for work if I had all the money I'd ever need from winning the lottery? Which activities outside of the work make me feel the most connected to other people? Examine the intersection between your core genius, what you do best, and your daily work. Align your time with your values. From the workplace to home, our lives are filled with distractions that prevent us from spending time on what's important to us. Learn to say no. As a child, you learned that saying no to something your parents wanted you to do wasn't an acceptable answer. Later, as an adult, you may have avoided saying no because you didn't want to upset someone. But successful people learn how to say no to benefit their career and personal lives. For example, if your supervisor gives you an impossible deadline, it's reasonable to refuse to do the work or negotiate a different deadline. Cultivate your leadership skills. Successful people are often leaders in their field because achieving their vision or goals required motivating and leading groups of people to action. Leadership skills aren't innate, it takes practice to develop them. Communicate a compelling vision, to recruit others to work toward your vision and do their best work. Present a clear vision of what you want to achieve and why it's important. Use your own natural enthusiasms for the goal to convince people to follow your lead. In addition, tell people how your vision will make those working on it better. For example, if you are starting an urban garden, inspire volunteers with your vision of how they and the community will benefit from it. Appealing to people's emotions creates a sense of connection and motivates them to act. You can do this by telling stories about yourself, volunteers, partners you work with, and so on. Thank you for being here. If you want to be successful, click subscribe and the bell icon, and let's do this together. Have a fantastic day.